G'day guys and welcome to Feedback Friday here at ZUU, your home of bodyweight training. Guys, today on Feedback Friday, I have two wonderful testimonials. They're very in-depth, so I'll have to paraphrase them, okay? Without further ado, I'll get into the first one. It's from Mr. Chris McCabe. Many of us know Mr. Chris McCabe. His business is Navigate Personal Training in Bathurst, New South Wales, that he's had for over 2 years. Again, just paraphrasing, guys, for Chris McCabe. I went into the course feeling that I had a pretty good understanding of movement and was above average with my fitness levels. The culture and atmosphere was unlike anything I had ever experienced, and the movements challenged me in ways I had never experienced before. We were moving in ways that had never even crossed my mind, and my body soon let me know that I didn't move as well as I thought, because remember, ZUU is immediate in finding dysfunction. I soon realized that there was a lot of work to do, even with my fitness. The biggest impact ZUU had was the culture. Culture. It was unlike anything I had ever been a part of. People who had only known each other for a few minutes were giving each other high fives, get a touch, were giving each other high fives and hugs to say well done for getting through that drill. People were encouraging each other to push through their perceived limits. When Susan and I came back, we were so pumped to not only implement ZUU movements into our own training, but that of our wonderful clients. It had an immediate impact. They loved the new vibe and were amazed at how challenging a workout could be only using bodyweight movements. As a ZUU affiliate now, we have a broad range of fitness levels, from beginners, gym goers, kids, their parents, CrossFit participants, even ultra marathon runners. We're also getting referrals now from allied health professionals such as physios, chiros and osteos who want their patients doing ZUU as they have seen the benefits it has had on their movement and rehabilitation from previous injuries. I would highly recommend ZUU. Guys, that's from Chris McCabe, Navigate Personal Training in Bathurst, New South Wales. So what are we talking about there? We've got a fitness professional who has a good range of movement, or believes he has a good range of movement, and also good knowledge. And then when they come to our certification, they're blown away, not just by the movements and how it immediately finds dysfunction. They're blown away by our culture. Culture is the most powerful aspect of ZUU, okay? Bringing people together. People still buy people, and that's what blew him away. Then when he went back, he implemented it straight into his business. So that gives him a wonderful point of difference for people to understand. He's about people, bringing people together. The ranges of fitness levels, where he's got from kids to marathon runners to CrossFitters, all ranges. And does it challenge his clients? When people go to a train, they obviously want results. Does it challenge them? Well, of course it does. Movement is very deceptive. So that's from Chris McCabe. This next one comes in from Mr. Robert Beaucamp. I had the pleasure of training with Mr. Beaucamp. Again, just paraphrasing, I have always said to my students on military PT courses, so obviously he's in that sector, that every day is a school day, and how true that was for the ZUU course. I am now a convert. Thank you for the inspiration, sharing your knowledge and explaining the real purpose and simple technique adjustments that made all the exercises different, allowing us to find an entry point. Culture was the big takeaway from me. Now guys, this is someone in the military talking about the big takeaway being culture. I'm going to implement this within the unit I'm currently training, and it was a true light bulb. It was a true light bulb moment that can be applied to any team that requires to build fitness culture in the pursuit of mental toughness. Fitness culture in the pursuit of mental toughness. Even if the team isn't ready for full-on ZUU, their mobility stability will certainly benefit from using ZUU movements. I now, at the end of a ZUU certification, we go through a physical test to find out where you're at. He says, I now rank the ZUU test in my top 3 of all-time thrashings. Okay, don't be afraid. Not entirely sure I want to thank you for that, but it is number one because it was athletically purposeful. So again, it's not just flogging people for the sake of flogging people. Okay, when we push people, we train with you in the test. When we push you, push. It builds resilience and helps you understand how much potential you have, how much more potential you can give, not just in fitness, but in life. Athletically purposeful, it was driven by purpose. Then he said, this is emotional for me. Thanks also for curing my chronically tight lower back, a lingering residual stiffness, and many former in the forces will relate to this. A lingering residual stiffness from a near military career-ending disc herniation some 15 plus years ago that has resulted in increasingly frequent spine contorting, back spasms. I have tried many different approaches and exercises in attempt to address this issue over the years, but seemingly endless repetitions of frog squats hit the spot instantaneously. Hit it instantly. It felt completely normal. It felt completely normal within the first hour of the cert and remains no longer vulnerable. I hope you are listening to this, because even the day after lifting heavy now, I no longer have to be wary about putting on my socks, and I now train with increasing intensity and frequency. I feel that ZUU saved my exercise career and hence my lifelong health. Awesome, just doesn't seem to cover ZUU. I wish I'd known of ZUU decades ago. All those times deployed on ship or remote locations, I could have had it all in one session. Sincerely, thank you, and keep up the great work. Rob Beaucamp, former specialisation advisor and assistant inspector of physical training, Royal Marines. So what are we talking about there, guys, with Mr. Rob Beaucamp? You're talking about someone with massive experience here, top of the tree. Okay, massive experience. You're talking about him coming in, feeling vulnerable with this disc herniation that he has suffered from for 15 plus years, progressively getting worse. And if you're suffering with something for over a decade, nearly 2 decades, you start to doubt that it's even possible. And then all of a sudden you start to believe that this is it. Like, this is it for me. I've got to put up with this pain day in, day out. And immediately he felt relief. Do you know how wonderful that is for me to be able to give to people? To be able to inspire people, to inspire other people. What a relief for him. Put yourself in his shoes, to immediately feel the relief. And now he's back doing what he loves doing, which is lifting and empowering others with this knowledge. And he wished, of course, as I do, he had it all those years ago being deployed. And now he uses it with other people. Two very different testimonials again, guys. The takeaways, as always, ZUU flows. Rehab, prehab, we can then change it if we want, and someone wants to test themselves for physical limits, mental resilience, they can use it there. We can use it for rehab and quality of life. There is so much to learn inside the space of ZUU. I hope you're enjoying these Feedback Fridays. Please continue to send them in via email or messages, and that's Feedback Friday here at ZUUtube, your home of bodyweight training. Get a touch, Saboya.